The story opens with a moment so sharp it feels like daylight itself flinches. A man stands in the middle of a city playground at noon, frozen as if the world has stopped breathing around him. His son's backpack lies torn open on the ground, textbooks scattered across the sand, and a faint trail of blood, his blood, trickles down from his brow where he was struck protecting the child from a group of older teens who mocked how worn and second-hand everything he owned looked. The father, Elias Ward, keeps his trembling hands on his knees, panting, trying not to collapse in front of the boy who clings to him with terrified eyes. He whispers inwardly, not to a god or a memory, but to the version of himself he thought he buried, the soldier who once walked through hell without a scar visible. Now he bleeds over the small cruelties of normal life, and that humility burns more painfully than any battlefield wound ever did. Play button if you're watching Ripple of Love. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you believe in hope, compassion, and second chances. Elias feels the raw sting of helplessness as sunlight pours harshly across the empty playground, reflecting off the metal bars and swings that sway from the breeze. In that flickering moment of weakness, he realizes he has spent years trying to be invisible, blending into ordinary life after a past too bloody to revisit. But invisibility comes with a price, especially when you are a single father working 2 jobs just to keep a roof overhead. His son, Rowan, is 9, small for his age, gentle to a fault, and painfully aware of how hard his father works. Elias forces himself upright, wipes his face with the back of his hand, and tells himself to breathe. The city skyline rises behind him like a glass and steel reminder of everything he doesn't have, and everything he still has to protect. Elsewhere, in a corner office 28 floors high above the ground, sunlight falls across marble floors and minimalist decor that projects power with quiet elegance. The CEO of Marathi Enterprises, Serafina Vale, stands before a panoramic window wearing confidence like a tailored suit. On the surface, her life appears immaculate, success before 30, strategic brilliance, and a reputation for ruthless precision. But beneath that facade lies a loneliness carved deep by years of abandonment from people who loved her ambition but not her heart. Her world is clean, polished, controlled, until the day her company partners with a community program, requiring her to visit a local outreach center where she will meet a volunteer parent working in logistics. She expects someone with polished manners and corporate ease. Instead, she meets Elias, quiet, reserved, almost too humble, sorting donation boxes beneath a beam of afternoon light with calloused hands and tired eyes. The moment she sees him, she notices something unspoken in the way he stands, the subtle tension of someone who hears danger even in the silence. Yet he smiles for the coordinator, helps a child lift a box twice his size, and speaks with warmth that doesn't match the haunted stillness inside him. Serafina feels an unfamiliar pull toward him, the kind that unravels carefully built walls in slow, surprising ways. Her world, usually a mosaic of calculated decisions, suddenly feels disrupted by an emotion she does not know how to categorize. In the days that follow, Serafina keeps finding excuses to return during daytime visits, claiming operational checks or personal involvement, but privately seeking the quiet presence of the man who seems more grounded than anyone she has ever met. Elias, for his part, tries to remain distant. He knows that people like her, the powerful, the privileged, rarely stay long enough to understand men like him. But every time she appears, he feels something shift, a sense of peace he hasn't allowed himself to feel since Rowan's mother passed away, leaving him with a newborn child and shattered heart. Serafina notices details others miss, the faint limp he hides, the small scar near his jawline, the way he watches doors and exits unconsciously, the way he positions himself between harm and the vulnerable without thinking. She senses a history, but not its depth, and certainly not its severity. It draws her closer, like a mystery wrapped in kindness and shadows. One sunlit afternoon, Elias walks Rowan home from school, the air warm enough to ripple the leaves along the sidewalk. The city feels almost gentle in the golden haze. Rowan skips beside him, unaware of the woman watching from across the street. Serafina had finished a meeting and caught sight of them by coincidence, though she remains rooted in place, observing the soft tenderness in Elias's posture. She sees the way he leans down to adjust his son's backpack, the way he smiles, something she has never seen him do openly. That image lodges in her heart like an unexpected spark, warming a place she thought had long gone cold. She tries inviting him to a charity luncheon, but he politely declines. She tries asking about his work experience, but he gives minimal information. She tries subtly hinting that she enjoys talking to him, but his expression flickers with discomfort, as though the idea of being wanted is almost painful. Yet he never pushes her away outright. Instead, he offers small moments, brief exchanges, glimpses of a man trying to protect what little he has left. Everything changes the day Rowan is nearly hit by a speeding car outside the center. The afternoon is bright, shadows short, pavement hot. Elias hears the engine before anyone else registers danger. In a split second, instincts he buried ignite with terrifying clarity. He darts forward, grabs Rowan, rolls him across the ground, and ends up shielding him with his body as the car screeches past, missing them by inches. Serafina witnesses the entire scene, her chest tight, her breath caught in a silent panic she has never felt for anyone before. When she rushes to them, she sees something raw in Elias's eyes, a storm of memories flashing too fast to hide. He isn't just a protective father. He is someone who has fought real battles. Someone who has walked through chaos and survived. Someone whose reactions are trained, precise, unnatural for an ordinary civilian. She kneels beside him, and something inside her breaks open, a simple realization that love can be born from admiration, and admiration can come from seeing the truth in someone's wounds. Elias tries to retreat emotionally afterward, terrified she might uncover who he used to be. He had once been a legend in an elite special forces unit, a ghost in operations never recorded, a man whispered about in certain circles as if he had already died. But when he left after losing too many brothers in arms, he erased himself from that world, choosing anonymity for Rowan's sake. He fears she will run if she learns the truth. He fears the world will judge him. Most of all, he fears losing something before it has even begun. But Serafina grows more certain with every passing day that there is no safer place for her heart than near a man who protects life as fiercely as he does. Months unfold with gentle tension and growing warmth. Daylight scenes of them walking through community fairs, volunteering at outdoor events, and sitting quietly on park benches become fragments of a life Elias never thought he would be allowed to dream of again. Serafina brings light into places long darkened, while Elias grounds her in realities she never could see from her glass tower. They change each other in ways neither expected. Play button if this story touches your heart. Please support Ripple of Love with a like, share, comment, and subscription. Please comment before the final moment of the story and share what part moved you most. As the story reaches its final emotional crest, Elias finally confesses his truth to Serafina on a calm, bright morning where the sky is clear enough to show every shade of blue. They stand near a quiet lakeside that glimmers beneath the sun, and he tells her everything, his past, his fears, his belief that he is unworthy of love. He expects distance, fear, maybe rejection. Instead, Serafina steps closer, gently placing her hand over his, and in that simple touch he feels something he hasn't felt in years, acceptance not born of illusion, but of understanding. She tells him that strength is not defined by the battles fought in shadows, but by the courage to build something tender after the world tried to harden him. Elias's eyes sting with tears he doesn't try to hide. Rowan watches from a few feet away with a smile only a child capable of hope can give. Elias realizes that love does not erase scars, it simply makes them worth carrying. And Serafina discovers that true power is not found in skyscrapers or titles but in choosing someone who has learned the art of protecting hearts, not just lives. Together they build something steady, warm, and real, proving that even the most guarded souls can learn to trust again under the soft light of a new day. In the end, as sunlight drapes over them like a quiet blessing, Elias steps into a future he once feared touching. Serafina holds his hand with a conviction that promises she will never walk away. Rowan runs around them with laughter that seems to paint the world brighter.